Mr. Chasline, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, if a member is opposed to a resolution such as honoring a famed abortionist in the state of Texas on the congratulatory or memorial resolutions calendar, is there a procedure under the House rules to consider that resolution separately?
No, there is not.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chasline, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Would it be in order to divide the question and consider each resolution individually?
No, it is not.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chasline, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
The House rules allow for a motion to vote on measures section by section. Does that rule apply to a resolutions calendar?
It does not.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chasline, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
For purposes of the House rules and under House precedent, does this mean that no congratulatory or memorial calendar is considered divisible by the chair?
That is correct.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chasline, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
If a member of this body or group of members strongly objects, which we do, to a resolution placed on the congratulatory or memorial calendar, is our only recourse to vote against the entire calendar, thus sacrificing the rest of the good resolutions that are on the calendar?
Mr. Chasline, that is one option. You may also record an individual registration of no with the Journal Clerk.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chasline, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it true, though, that the majority of the body or every Republican in the Texas House, if they were to register a no vote, that resolution would still pass?
The Journal Clerk cannot accept more than a majority of no votes.
So, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chasline, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
So are you saying that if every Republican goes and registers a no vote on that resolution, then it would not pass?
That is not what I said. The Journal Clerk cannot accept more than a majority of no votes.
Okay. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chasline, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Will the members of this body have the opportunity to speak against the resolution?
No.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chasline, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
So it is the only way we can actually kill this horrific resolution is to vote down the resolution's calendar.
That is your choice, Mr. Chasline.
Mr. Speaker.
For what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
I move to postpone the consideration of today's memorial resolutions calendar until July 15th.
You are not recognized for that motion at this time.
Okay. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chasline, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
There's no possible way that any one of our members can come and speak against recognizing an abortionist on the Texas House floor today?
That is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chasline. Mr. Harrison, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
State your inquiry.
A couple times in your responses to Representative Chasline's questions, you said, I believe it was twice, that the House clerk cannot record more than a majority of noes to be registered in the journal. Where is that prohibition found in the House rules?
The resolutions on the resolution calendar are adopted by a special procedure, and they're adopted by a single motion.
I don't know where that would be found. Can you tell me what rule, number, section, and subsection provides for that prohibition?
Rule 6, Section 12.
Mr. Speaker, while my colleagues and I are
Mr.
looking...
Harrison, for what purpose?
Mr. Parliamentary inquiry, Mr.
State your
Speaker.
inquiry.
While my colleagues and I are looking up that provision that you just referenced, what would happen should a majority or a majority plus one members of this body attempt to register a no vote with the clerk?
Once we get past a majority, they will be recorded as statements in the journal.
So are you saying that it's your position that you would deny the 77th
Mr.
Republican a chance to...
Mr. Harrison, that's not what I said. What I said was a statement of fact, that the journal clerk will accept up to a majority, and after that, they'll be recorded as statements in the journal.
And I'm asking for clarification on that, Mr. Speaker. Is that what would happen? What would happen after the 76th Republican went up to register?
They would be recorded as
I know you're
statements.
saying that they can put a statement, but they would be denied an opportunity to register a no.
Not what I said. I said as a matter of fact, they would be recorded as statements in the journal.
Right, but is it not also correct that what you are saying is they would in fact be denied an opportunity to
Mr.
register a
Harrison,
no?
that's not what I said. They would be recorded as statements in the journal after that.
Mr. Speaker, I understand that is what you said, but I'm asking, is the implication of your statement that they would in fact be denied? The 77th Republican would be denied an opportunity to register a no against honoring Planned Parenthood. Is that not the implication of your statement?
Mr. Harrison, that is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Harrison, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr.
State
Speaker.
your inquiry.
As who is ultimately responsible for what comes to the body and ends up on a calendar for any individual day in this chamber?
Mr. Harrison, that is not a statement, a proper parliamentary inquiry.
I think it's a completely proper parliamentary inquiry. I am asking how we conduct the business of the House today. And I'll rephrase it, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Harrison, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
As the presiding officer, do not the House rules vest in you the authority to control the conduct and the time and the manner and place in which we take up and consider various motions, bills, resolutions? Do the House rules not vest that authority in you as the presiding officer?
Mr. Harrison, the House rules contain specific procedures for the setting of calendars by the House.
They absolutely do. But is the ultimate responsibility for the adjudication of that process and make sure that process flows according to the House rules, does that authority not reside with you as the presiding officer?
Mr. Harrison, your question has been asked and answered. There are specific rules that dictate how calendars are set.
And you are not denying that you are in fact responsible for Planned Parenthood being honored today on today's calendar. It's an outrage.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Little, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
So, Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Rule 6, Section 11, I'm given to understand that the only way that the resolution honoring Cecile Richards could have made its way onto the congratulatory and memorial calendar is if a majority of the membership of the Committee on Resolutions calendars so adopts it. Is that accurate?
Mr. Little, that is accurate.
How can we find out which members of the Memorial and Resolutions Committee, let me start over. How can we determine or find out which members of the Committee on Resolutions calendars voted in favor of placing a resolution honoring Cecile Richards on the calendar? Is there a record vote?
Mr. Little, there are committee minutes which you can reference.
And I'm given to understand that
Mr. Little, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
And the minutes for the House Committee on Local and Consent calendars records those votes determining which resolutions go on that calendar. Is that accurate?
Mr. Little, that is accurate.
And Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Little, for what purpose?
parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Once the members of the Committee on Local and Consent calendars elect to place certain resolutions on that calendar, is there anything that a member of this body can do to remove it once it has been placed there?
Mr. Little, there is not.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr.
I got it.
Mr. Luther, for
Mr.
what
Speaker,
purpose?
parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is there a way that we could get a record vote of how many people have filled out that form against a certain resolution?
Ms. Luther, that will be printed in the journal.
So there's no parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
So has it ever in the past been where you have looked at the votes and gave us a vote count so we can see if it is actually the Republican majority?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Are we going to kill it? Are we going to kill it?
Yes. Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Money, for what purpose?
point of information, Mr. Speaker.
State your point of information.
Mr. Speaker, it's my understanding that this bill, since the people were asking about it, the House Committee on Local and Consent Calendars, which is presided over by Chairman Jared Patterson, voted this out, and Representative Berry moved to place these measures on the congratulatory and memorial resolutions calendar, House Resolution 236 honoring Cecile Richards, and that the following members.
That is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Oh, it was a point of information, Mr. Speaker. Is it not?
Sorry, Mr. Money, the rules do not authorize points of information.
Oh.
Mr. Money, for what purpose?
Then I'm finished, Mr. Speaker. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Mr.
Mr.
Speaker,
Harrison, for what purpose?
point of parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
I'll phrase this as a question. Which committee has jurisdiction over the resolutions calendars now? Because my understanding is there's been a recent move to move it under a different committee.
The Local and Consent Calendars Committee.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Harrison, for what purpose?
point of parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Who is the chairman of the Local and Consent Calendars Committee?
Mr. Harrison, that is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
It is Representative Jared Patterson. Parliamentary inquiry, was you
Mr. Harrison,
as
for
the
what
speaker?
purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Do the House rules stipulate that you, as the presiding officer and speaker, appoint the chairman of all House committees?
The chair does not respond to parliamentary inquiries related to general House procedure.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Harrison, state your parliamentary inquiry.
Do you, as Speaker, believe it's appropriate that on Easter weekend we are honoring Cecile Richards, former president of Planned Parenthood?
That is not a proper parliamentary inquiry. Mr. Harrison, for what purpose?
Is there anything in the House rules that is prohibiting you from answering my last question?
Mr. Harrison, that is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
You could answer the question if you wanted to.
Mr. Speaker,
Stop, for what purpose?
parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Would it be a reasonable request to have a personal privilege speech at this time?
You can bring your request down front.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Harrison, for what purpose?
I move to reduce to writing and place in the journal all the remarks of the previous dialogue.
Members, you've heard the motion. Is there any objection? Chair is none so ordered.
Mr. Speaker. Sorry.
Mr. Little, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, not having been familiar with this rule before, I look at Rule 6, Section 12, and I question whether the chair has the ability to withdraw this resolution honoring Cecile Richards from further consideration. It appears to me that if it develops that any resolution on the congratulatory and memorial calendar does not belong on that calendar, the chair shall withdraw the resolution from further consideration, remove it from the calendar, and refer it to the appropriate calendars committee for placement on the proper calendar.
Mr. Little, the committee had jurisdiction over the resolution.
And
It is a memorial resolution.
parliamentary inquiry?
State your inquiry.
I understand, Mr. Speaker, that the committee did in fact have jurisdiction over it and voted on it, but isn't it correct that if you, the chair, find that this resolution should not be on the calendar, that you have the authority to remove it? For whatever reason you like.
Mr. Little, I have responded to your inquiry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Dale, for what purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it standard procedure to honor people who have killed millions of unborn babies?
So that is not a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.